Stop everything you're doing right now and ask yourself one question. Who do you think you are? Because the answer isn't just in your head. It's in your life. Your results, your relationships, your happiness, all of it is a mirror of your self-image. And here's the truth that nobody tells you. If you don't like your life, it's not the world that needs to change. It's you. Change your self-image and watch everything change around you. Everything you do in life starts with a picture in your mind, a picture of yourself. This picture isn't just a vague idea, it's a blueprint. It's a mental map that determines what you believe you can achieve, how you handle challenges, and the decisions you make in every moment. If your self-image is small, limited, defined by fear or doubt, your life will mirror that. If you see yourself as capable, strong, and unstoppable, your world shifts to match that belief. Most people go through life unaware of this invisible force controlling them. They blame circumstances, luck, or other people for their results. But the reality is far simpler and far more empowering. The single most important factor shaping your success, your happiness, and your fulfillment is the story you tell yourself about who you are. Every action you take is either an expression of your self-image or a reaction to the limits you've had unconsciously accepted. Think about it. When someone walks into a room believing they are confident, that energy radiates. People respond, opportunities appear, doors open. But when someone carries self-doubt, hesitates, or doubts their own worth, even the same opportunities pass them by unnoticed. This isn't coincidence. This is the law of identity in action. The life you experience is always consistent with the person you believe yourself to be. It doesn't matter what your parents told you, what society expects, or what happened in the past. The moment you grasp that your self-image is the driver behind every choice and every result, everything changes. You stop seeing obstacles as external problems and start recognizing them as reflections of beliefs you can choose to change. You begin to understand that no level of skill, education, or external support can substitute for the power of seeing yourself as someone who deserves, can, and will succeed. The truth is, this picture in your mind isn't set in stone. It's flexible, moldable, and completely under your control. You have the power to challenge every old belief, question every limit, and reconstruct the self-image that works for you, not against you. Once you internalize that, the world stops being a series of random events and starts being a reflection of the person you decide to be. Most people go through life operating under rules they never consciously chose. They carry beliefs about themselves that were handed down from parents, teachers, friends, or society, and they accept them as absolute truth. I'm not smart enough, I'm not attractive enough, success isn't for someone like me. These thoughts quietly dictate choices, actions, and results. What most people fail to realize is that these beliefs are not facts. They are stories they've been telling themselves for years, and they are holding them hostage. Every time you think, I can't, your mind immediately filters the world to prove that belief. You don't see opportunities. You see obstacles, you don't see solutions. You see reasons why it won't work. Limiting beliefs are like invisible chains, keeping people trapped in a life far smaller than what they are capable of. The first step to breaking them is awareness. You have to pause and examine the thoughts that shape your decisions, the narratives that run in the background, and the fears that have been quietly running your life. When you start questioning these beliefs, a powerful thing happens. You begin to realize that most of them are lies. They are stories written by circumstances, fear, or past experiences, not by your true potential. And once you recognize that, you gain freedom. The freedom to rewrite the story. But awareness alone isn't enough. You must take deliberate action to replace those old limiting beliefs with new, empowering ones. This requires courage, repetition, and consistency. Every time you act in alignment with a new belief, it strengthens your new identity. The mind begins to adjust. Your behavior shifts, and the world responds to this new version of yourself. People who break free from limiting beliefs don't just change what they do. They change who they are. They stop waiting for permission. They stop blaming circumstances, and they start creating results that once seemed impossible. The process isn't easy because these beliefs are deeply ingrained and often feel like part of who you are, but that's the very point. The old self is comfortable, predictable, and safe, and real growth happens when you step beyond that comfort. It's not a one-time event. It's a deliberate, ongoing practice of identifying, challenging, and replacing every belief that no longer serves you until your mind reflects the limitless potential you've always had inside. Transformation doesn't happen by accident. It doesn't happen because you read a book, attend a seminar, or get inspired for a few minutes. Transformation happens when you make a conscious, deliberate decision to become someone different, someone bigger, someone more than you've ever allowed yourself to be. Most people wait for life to change them. They hope circumstances, opportunities, or other people will push them into a new version of themselves. But real power comes when you take control of the process yourself. Deliberate transformation is about understanding that your past does not define your future, that your history is not your destiny, and that your identity is something you can actively design. When you commit to this process, you begin to take responsibility for every aspect of your life. You examine your thoughts, your habits, your patterns, and you decide, this is no longer serving me. I will change it. It's not about temporary motivation or a fleeting burst of energy. It's about building new structures inside yourself, a new self-image, new habits, new ways of thinking, and new standards for what you will accept from yourself and from life. When you practice deliberate transformation, every decision becomes a statement of who you are becoming. Every action is aligned with that new self. You stop living in reaction to the world and start living intentionally, designing your life to match the person you are choosing to be. This is where extraordinary results come from. The people who consistently outperform, who achieve what others call impossible, who achieve what others call impossible, are not necessarily more talented or luckier. They are more deliberate in the way they transform themselves. They don't wait for a breakthrough. They create it. They don't hope for a miracle. They become one. And the beauty of deliberate transformation is that it's never limited. There is no ceiling, no finish line. Every time you grow, every time you step into a bigger version of yourself, the world responds. Multiply, energy increases, confidence rises, and people notice the change. Because transformation is visible. It radiates from the inside out. The key is consistency, repetition, and a refusal to settle for anything less than the life you are capable of living. You have the ability to shape yourself, your circumstances, and your destiny, but only if you make the conscious choice to do it. Every day, in every decision, and with every action you take. Transformation isn't a moment. It's a process that compounds. And once you understand its power, your life stops being something that happens to you and starts being something you create deliberately. Understanding that you can change your self-image and consciously transform yourself is powerful, but knowing without doing is useless. Knowledge alone will never create a breakthrough. Transformation requires action. Massive, immediate, relentless action. The moment you take action, the impossible begins to feel possible. Momentum starts to build, and the beliefs you carry about yourself begin to shift from theory into reality. Most people fail not because they lack potential or vision, but because they waiting for the perfect moment, the right opportunity, or the exact set of circumstances. But the truth is, there is no perfect moment. Action is the bridge between who you are now and who you are becoming. When you move even imperfectly, you generate results that feed back into your self-image, proving to your mind that you are capable, that you can achieve, that you are worth more than you thought. And the more you act, the more courage you cultivate. Action builds confidence, not the other way around. You can read 100 books, watch 100 videos, or listen to 100 speeches. But until you step into your power, nothing changes. Every hero, every leader, every person who has achieved extraordinary results started by simply deciding to act. They didn't wait for inspiration, they created it through doing. And action isn't about reckless movement. It's about taking deliberate steps that align with the person you want to become. It's about showing up every day, making choices that reinforce your new identity, and refusing to retreat to old habits, old patterns, or old excuses. Momentum compounds. One courageous action leads to another. One small success opens the door for the next. And soon, your self-image begins to reflect the reality you are creating. Action is the proof that you are serious about your transformation, the signal to your mind and the world that you are ready to evolve. Without it, all the knowledge, all the intention, all the vision in the world is wasted energy. With it, every limiting belief is challenged, every fear is confronted, and every dream begins to take shape in ways you never thought possible. Transformation is not a future event. It is happening right now. The instant you decide to move, to act, to break free from old limitations, and to step boldly into the life you are capable of living.